Olga stood at the stove stirring her soup. Her hands moved automatically, but her head was completely empty. She wasn't even thinking about anything. She was just tired. So tired she wanted to sit right on the floor and not get up. The TV blared behind her. Her husband was watching some football game, periodically commenting, "What idiots? Where is he kicking the ball?" From the room came the sound of the youngest child crying. "He's woken up again." He sleeps for 20 minutes and then starts screaming. It's been like this for a month. The paediatrician says it's normal, just colic. It will pass. She didn't say when it will pass. The older daughter was sitting at the table, drawing something. She was quiet today. She was probably upset that Olga didn't let her watch cartoons, but she had to do her homework. In 3rd grade, they're already giving her a lot of homework. "Mum, when will he eat?" Katya asked, without looking up from her album. "Soon, dear." "Just 10 more minutes." "I want it now. Wait a little." The crying from the room grew louder. Olga turned off the stove and went to her son. She picked him up and began rocking him. He was soaking wet and sweaty. His diaper was full. He needed a change. She placed Misha on the changing table and pulled off his romper. The little one kicked his legs and continued to struggle. Olga quickly dried him, applied some cream and put on a clean diaper. She picked him up again. "Hush, hush, my dear. Mommy will feed him now." She sat down in the armchair and unbuttoned her robe. Misha latched on and finally quieted down. Olga leaned her head back against the chair and closed her eyes. At least a moment of peace. "Olga, is the soup ready?" Her husband called from the living room. She sighed. "Yes, it's ready. I'll feed Misha now and set the table. Can we go earlier?" "I'm hungry. Andrei, I can't leave the baby." "Wait 5 minutes. You always have something to do," he muttered. Olga bit her lip. "Don't answer. Don't get involved." He was tired from work. His nerves were on edge. He'd lose it and there would be a scene. Better to keep quiet. Misha ate, fell off the breast and dozed off again. She carefully transferred him to his crib, covered him with a blanket. She went out to the kitchen. Katya was already sitting at the table, spoon in hand. "I'm waiting," she announced. "Just a moment, my dear." Olga poured the soup into bowls. She called her husband. He reluctantly tore himself away from the television, walked into the kitchen and plopped down on a chair. "Pea soup again," he said discontentedly, stirring the soup with a spoon. "I asked for it without the peas. Andriusha, peas are healthy. And cheap. We still have a week until payday. Always the same thing. Either pasta or peas. Can't we buy some real food?" Olga sat down across from him. She took a spoon, but she didn't feel like eating. A lump formed in her throat. "I tried to cook a variety of things. But we're on a budget." "Yeah, a budget," he chuckled. "And you know why the budget is limited? Because I'm the only one working hard and the rest of us are living off our necks." Katya looked up from her plate. She glanced at her father, then at her mother. "Dad, are we living off our necks?" "Eat up, Katyusha," Olga said quickly. Andrei waved his hand. "Oh, come on, when he grows up he'll understand." They ate in silence. Olga swallowed her soup with difficulty. She wanted to get up and leave. But she sat there and finished it. Because she had to. Because he needs strength. Afterwards, Andrei returned to the TV. He sprawled on the couch, his feet propped up on the armrest. Olga was clearing the table. Katya was helping, carrying plates to the sink. "Mummy, why is Daddy angry?" the girl asked quietly. "He's not angry, darling. He's just tired. There's a lot to do at work. Don't you get tired?" Olga stopped. She looked at her daughter. She looked serious, like an adult. "Of course I get tired, but it's okay, I cope. Why does Daddy say you're doing nothing? You've been doing something all day." Olga squatted down in front of Katya. She hugged her. "You know, dear, adults sometimes say stupid things. When they're tired or angry. Don't pay attention. But I feel bad for you. No need. Everything's fine. Go play for now." Katya went to her room. Olga returned to the sink. She washed the dishes and thought. When did it all start? When did Andrei become like this? He used to be different. Caring, attentive. He helped around the house, fussed over Katya. But now he comes home from work and straight to the couch. As if he's at home, taking a break from life. She understood he was struggling. His job was stressful, his boss was nitpicking. His pay was constantly late. There wasn't enough money for anything. A car loan, a mortgage. It was all on his shoulders. But why did he think she had it easy? Take today. She got up at 6 in the morning because Misha was awake. She fed him and changed him. While he slept, she made breakfast. She woke Katya and got her ready for school. Andrei left for work without even saying goodbye properly. She was left alone with the baby, on her feet all day. Laundry, cleaning, cooking. Misha screamed every 20 minutes. She won't let me sleep at all. I have to pick Katya up from school and help her with her homework. Then there's dinner, bathing the kids and putting them to bed. But Andrei thinks she's doing nothing. Because she's sitting at home, Olga dried the last plate. She hung up the towel. She looked at her watch. 3 o'clock. The whole evening was still ahead. Crying came from the room. Misha woke up again. She went to him. That evening, when the kids finally fell asleep, Olga went into the kitchen. She wanted to have some tea and sit in silence, but Andrei came in after her. "Listen, why isn't my shirt ironed?" he asked. "I have a meeting tomorrow. I need a white one. I didn't have time. Misha hasn't let me do it all day." "Well, go ahead and iron it now. Andriusha, I'm really tired." "Maybe tomorrow morning?" "I won't have time tomorrow. I have to leave at 8. "Holya, that's 5 minutes." She looked at him. She wanted to tell him she was tired, that she needed to rest too, that she'd been working non-stop all day. But she remained silent. She took out the ironing board. She ironed the shirt and felt tears welling up. It was so stupid. A grown woman, 30 years old, and she was crying over a shirt. But it wasn't about the shirt. It was about everything at once. Andrei sat at the table looking at his phone. Occasionally he chuckled as he read something. He didn't even look at her. "Done?" Olga hung the shirt on a hanger. "Thank you," he muttered, not looking up from the screen. She sat down opposite him. She poured herself some tea. Her hands were shaking with fatigue. "Andrei, we need to talk." "About what?" He looked up. "About us. About what's going on." "What's going on?" "Everything's fine." "No, it's not fine. You're constantly unhappy. You take it out on me. You say I'm doing nothing." He leaned back in his chair. "What do you do?" "Stay at home with the kids." "Is that really work?" "Are you seriously thinking that?" "So what? I go to work every day. I bring in money. I provide for the family. And you sit at home. You could sleep all day long." Olga felt something tighten inside her. "Andrei, I get up at 6 in the morning and go to bed at midnight. I don't have a minute to myself. I feed, wash, clean, cook. 24/7, no days off. No vacation. Do you even understand what that's like?" "Come on, don't exaggerate. There are a lot of you like that, sitting at home and thinking you're heroines. Just try spending one day in my place." "One day? Let's see how you sing." "It's simple." "What's so difficult about it?" Olga stood up. She went to the window. She looked into the darkness and tried to calm down. Not to lose her temper. Not to scream. "You know what's offensive?" she said quietly. "It's not that you don't help. It's that you don't see. You don't notice what I do. For you, it just doesn't exist. It just happens. A clean apartment, ironed clothes, dinner on the table. Of course. Well, that's your responsibility. You stay at home, so take care of the house. And your responsibility is only to bring in money? Yes, I'm a man. I have to support the family. And you're a woman. You have to run the house." Olga turned around. "Andrei, we don't live in the 19th century. Nowadays, men also participate in raising children. They help around the house. Well, when I start earning a decent living, then we'll hire you an assistant. For now, manage on your own. I'm not talking about an assistant. I'm talking about us. About our family. Why don't you at least try to understand me?" He stood up. He walked over to her. He looked her down. "I'm the only one carrying our family, and you're sitting with the kids and doing nothing, so keep quiet." And he went into the living room. He collapsed on the couch. He turned up the TV. Olga stood and watched him go. Everything inside her collapsed. A kind of emptiness formed. Cold, unpleasant. She went out onto the balcony. The cold November wind stung her face. Good. Refreshing. When they got married, everything was different. They dreamed of children, of a home, of a happy family. Andrei said he'd be the best father in the world. That together they could handle anything. Then Katya was born. And everything didn't go as they'd imagined. The baby cried at night. Money was desperately short. Olga was on maternity leave and feeling overwhelmed. And Andrei was spending more and more time at work. He said he needed to earn money, that he needed to build a career. And Olga understood. She agreed. She waited for things to get easier. But things didn't get any easier. Then Misha was born, and everything became even harder. Andrei withdrew completely. He came home, ate, slept and went to work. Like some kind of lodger, not a husband and father. Olga went back into the apartment. She passed the living room. Andrei was snoring on the couch. The TV continued to blare. She turned off the sound. She covered her husband with a blanket. She stood there looking at him. There he was, sleeping peacefully. Tired, poor thing. He'd been working all day, but she couldn't sleep. Because in a couple of hours, Misha would wake up. And she would have to feed him. Then put him back to bed. Then feed him again. And so on until morning. She lay down on the bed, fully dressed. She closed her eyes. She couldn't sleep. Thoughts swirled in her head. What next? Should she continue living like this? Should she endure these reproaches? Was this disrespect for what? For the children's sake, she answered herself. For Katya and Misha's. It's not their fault that their parents can't cope, but it's not her fault either. She's trying. She's doing everything she can. Why isn't that appreciated? Misha began to cry. Olga stood up and went to him. She picked him up and began rocking him. The baby quieted down, nuzzling his nose into her neck. My darling, she whispered. My little one. And suddenly she understood. She understood very clearly that the children loved her simply because... For being there. They don't care whether the apartment is clean or their shirt ironed. They care about her. Her warmth, her voice, her hugs. And Andrei. What matters to him? Does he even see her? Or is she just a function for him? Cooking, washing, cleaning. She sat down in the armchair. She fed Misha. He sucked greedily, sniffling, and ran his hand over her robe. In the morning, Olga was up before everyone else. She made breakfast and woke Katya. Andrei came out of the bedroom, yawning. Good morning, Olga said. Good, he muttered. He sat down at the table. He poured himself coffee. He buttered his sandwich. Andrei, let's come to an agreement, Olga began. I understand it's hard for you at work, but it's hard for me at home too. Let's try to help each other. He looked up. What do you mean? Well, for example, you could babysit the kids in the evening while I cook dinner, or help with the cleaning on the weekend. Olga, I want to rest on the weekends. I work all week, and I'm home with the kids all week, non-stop. I need rest too. He paused. Then he said, okay, we'll try. But I can't promise it will work. I really have a lot to do. Okay, thank you. He went to work. Olga was left alone with the children. The day passed as usual. Fuss, fatigue, endless chores. That evening, Andrei returned late. He said he was running late. He went straight to bed. The next day, the same thing. And the day after that, Olga realised nothing had changed. He'd formally agreed, but he wasn't going to do anything. On Saturday morning, she woke him up. Andreyusha, get up. We need to clean. You promised to help. He mumbled something and pulled the covers over his head. It's still early. Let me sleep. It's already 10 o'clock. The children are awake. We need to clean. Olya, at least let me sleep on the weekend. I haven't gotten enough sleep all week. I haven't gotten enough sleep either. Never. But I have to get up. He sat up in bed, angry. Why are you picking on me? You've created a dictatorship here. I want to rest, understand? To rest. And I want you to help me at least sometimes. How can I help you? I don't know how to cook. I don't know how to clean. I'll only ruin everything. You just don't want to learn. That's right. I don't want to. That's a woman's job. That's how I was raised. Olga left the bedroom. She closed the door behind her. She sat down in the kitchen, resting her head in her hands. It's no use. He won't change. Never. Katya entered the kitchen. She went up to her mother and hugged her shoulders. Mum, don't cry. I'm not crying, honey. You are. I can see it. Is it because of Dad? Olga raised her head. She wiped her eyes. You know, Katyusha, sometimes adults don't understand each other. That's normal. Maybe I should show him how hard it is for you. How should I show him? Katya thought for a moment. Well, let him look after Misha and me for a day. And you go somewhere else. Then he'll understand, Olga smiled. She hugged her daughter. You're so smart. You're right, indeed, she thought. And why not? On Sunday, Olga announced, Andrei, I'm going away for the whole day today. You stay with the kids. He looked up from his phone. Where are you going? To a friend's. We haven't seen each other in a while. I need to rest. What about me? I can't handle it. You can handle it. You're a grown man. Olga, let's do it another time. No, today I already made arrangements. She got dressed and put on makeup. She wrote a to-do list. Feed Misha formula, change his diaper, make lunch, take the kids for a walk. She left the list on the table. I've written it all down. You can handle it. I'll be back this evening. Olga, wait. But she was already out the door. Outside, Olga stopped. She took a deep breath. Freedom. At least for a few hours. She went to a cafe. She sat by the window. Ordered coffee and a pastry. She sat and watched the people passing by. She wasn't in a hurry. No one was crying, calling for their mother or demanding attention. The phone rang an hour later. Olga, where's the formula? Andre sounded confused. It's in the kitchen cabinet. Top shelf, left. How much should I put in? It's written on the can. 3 measuring spoons per 150 millilitres of water. What temperature is the water? 40 degrees. Test it on your wrist. She hung up. She smiled. It started. Half an hour later, he called again. Misha is screaming. I don't know what to do. I fed him, changed him, but he's still screaming. Maybe his tummy hurts. Stroke him clockwise. Or carry him in your arms. I've been carrying him, but it's not helping. Andriusha, it's normal. Children cry. You just have to be patient. She hung up. She ordered more coffee. She returned in the evening. She opened the door and was stunned. The apartment looked like a hurricane had hit it. A mountain of unwashed dishes lay in the kitchen. Toys were scattered on the floor. Katya was sitting in front of the TV in her pyjamas. Mum's home. The girl rejoiced. Andre left the room. Exhausted, dishevelled. There were stains on his shirt. Misha was screaming in his arms. Here. Take him. He almost tossed the child to Olga. Don't ever dare me do that again. Olga took Misha. He immediately went quiet and buried his face in her chest. Well, did you manage? What do you mean, managed? It's a nightmare. He's been screaming all day. Katya kept whining that she was hungry. I tried to cook, but everything burned. The dishes don't fit in the sink. I don't even understand how you managed to do it all. You see? Now do you understand what I do all day? He sat down on the sofa. He rubbed his face with his hands. I understand. I'm sorry. I didn't think it was so hard. Olga sat down next to him. Andre, I don't want you to do this every day. I just want you to appreciate what I do and help out sometimes. At least a little. He nodded. Okay. I'll try. Really. And stop saying I'm doing nothing. It's offensive. And it's not true. I'm sorry. I won't do it again. They sat in silence. Misha snored in Olga's arms. Katya watched cartoons. You know, said Andre, I realised one thing today. You really are a hero. I would have gone crazy after a week of living like this. Olga smiled. Not a heroine. Just a mother. We all live like this. Then you're all heroines. He hugged her. For the first time in a long time, just hugged and held her. I really will try to help more. I promise. We'll see. Olga pressed herself against him. We'll see. Everything didn't change right away. Andre still forgot his promises. He still spent his evenings on the couch. But now sometimes when she asked, he got up and helped. He washed the dishes. He played with Katya. He took out the trash without being reminded. Small steps. But steps nonetheless. Olga no longer expected him to be perfect. She accepted him as he was. But she learned to speak her mind. Not to remain silent when she was hurt. Not to bottle up her fatigue and anger. And Andre learned to see. To see that the house doesn't clean itself. That a clean shirt doesn't magically appear in the closet. That his wife, who was just as tired as he, was behind it all. And maybe that was the most important thing. To learn to see each other,